just too sweet.
Man. All right. This is Attention Wrestling Disorder, episode 11. We got a little treat for you that we've been talking about. I'll start off RJ Show.
The whole show and nothing but the show, right? Is that what it is? Is that the deal?
I know. I wanted to try not doing it this week, but fine. The whole show, nothing
boy.
but.
Oh, I got to blow your spot up. You mean we blow each other's spots up? You got the counterbalance, Chucky Hashi in the house.
And you got the 4-time ELW Fantasy Champion, the Hot Rod 521.
Whose name I botched yesterday during the promo.
Oh my God.
Would you call him the Hot Rod 521? What are you, gay, Jade? I'm kidding.
Oh my
There's nothing wrong
God.
with that.
There's
nothing wrong with that. If you are, still respect it.
So we do have a special guest today. A little while ago, a video was posted in our group for Attention Wrestling Disorder. I took a little a view ski, if you will. I viewed the said video about the golden era of wrestling in the women's division, and I had my thoughts about it. And I had to talk to this dude about it, but that's not all that he's about, Chuck.
Also, what I wanted to discuss, because I've gotten to know him through other groups on Facebook, we're co-moderators and administrators on a group called Retro Wrestling All-Stars, where, we're just a bunch of fans. So, that's a cool page. If you're a wrestling fan, you're on Facebook and you're not there yet, check it out. We chat wrestling. We talk a lot of retro stuff, but we're fans of everything. So I've gotten to know him in these groups. So he was
post the link for it in the YouTube channel or the chat.
I will. It'll definitely be there.
So.
Oh, that's a given. I post all the links, but I'll make the link for all that. So we chat in like a group chat with the moderators and administrators, and he tells us his backstory. And he basically, he's explained his experiences and how he actually has wrestled and wrestles himself, and how he's very in tune with current wrestlers. Now he's friendly with some of them and how he works with some of them. So I'm going to let him, as this goes on, discuss that a little bit. Don't want to blow.
And he also posted a very interesting question, and I want to discuss that question that he posted. I'll explain that. He knows what I'm talking about because I told him I'd bring it up. We'll get into that as well. And also want to know your thoughts about Mortal Kombat, since all of us watched it, but we'll get into that.
That movie was fantastic. I'm just going to go into it, and before we even get into the whole thing, because me and Steven had an immense conversation about this. Actually, I've had a pretty in-depth conversation with all of you except for Rod about it. Rod, you finally watched it, right?
Rod was late to the party.
I saw it yesterday,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on point then. Okay.
Yes.
So, all in all, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10, personally. I gave it 8.5, and the reason I gave it 8.5 was it told the story it needed to. The fight scenes are pretty good. The things that I love about Mortal Kombat were all mostly covered. The only issue I had, which I've discussed with all of you individually, a few, plot holes to compare to the original video game stories, but I get why they had to do it. So I don't harbor on it, but me being the hashtag Mortal Kombat nerd, I have to, say what I have to say. But great movie, definitely worth watching. 8.5 out of 10.
Now, I thought it was the same. I'd say maybe 8.5, but what ruined it for me was I guess it was needed, but the story was great. I liked this take on Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I liked where it was going. I don't know if this new character was needed or not, but he was a cool element to the story, and it brought something different. What annoyed me was the way they would try to use fatality, all of this
victory.
Puns.
That part I popped for so hard.
I did too, especially.
That was one of my favorite kill scenes in the whole movie.
Mine too, right? We had that discussion.
Oh,
yeah. But it was needed because you need those Easter eggs.
Yeah,
I guess.
The thing is you with Mortal Kombat, with any kind of video game to a movie, we all know that they usually are just horrible.
Mortal Kombat 2, for example, the movie
Yeah.
version.
The first one still wasn't great, but it's one of those like popcorn flicks. Like you go back and you watch it. Like it has its good parts. As far as the first one goes, but I think this has been the best installment of it so far. I did like the mini series a little bit they had.
Oh, the Legacy, that was good.
Legacy was good.
And I have to cut in a bit. Did we even introduce his name?
Probably not.
I don't think we did.
Well, this is Steven Fillmore we're talking about, by the way.
I told you we ADD.
We got Steven Fillmore here. We forgot
AKA Stevie Capone.
AKA Stevie Wrestling.
Yeah.
Stevie Wrestling.
Stevie Wrestling.
Now we totally attention wrestling disordered this and totally did not appropriately introduce him.
I kind of
So
felt
welcome to the show and continue what you were saying.
Yeah, I kind of thought we did, but maybe we didn't. So yeah.
So,
Steven Fillmore.
Kind of what we do.
For the
That's how we
movie,
do, man.
I loved it. So I took my nephew to the movies Friday
Nice.
and saw it. 11 years old, and he was just like, and he took it for what it was. He played the games with me a little bit while he was growing up, and he can handle things very well because like he watches like horror movies with me too, the ones that aren't showing like, I don't know if you can say tits on here, but
You can say tits. We curse like sailors.
You'll hear worse.
I didn't know like the.
You'll hear worse.
You can curse all you want. There's no
Okay,
censure
yeah, I didn't
on
know
this.
what was acceptable or not, but
We
as long as it doesn't have like a
lot.
lot of nudity in it, he'll watch horror movies with me because he can handle like the gore and stuff. He still will go like, oh, but he doesn't have nightmares over anything. Like
Well, that's good because that's the last thing you need.
yeah, like I'm more likely to, and I love horror movies.
I love horror movies. I don't watch a lot of them because for me, a lot of them have gotten very cheesy to me. Like over the years, it's like okay, but sometimes the really bad cheesy ones are the best
pointless.
ones.
But as far as like the new Mortal Kombat movie goes, there's a lot of things I liked about it. The cinematography element of it was just awesome. I did like the storyline, and I had said before to my friends that I was nervous going into it about a new character because you never know. Like you never know how it's going to turn out. But when you think about it, every Mortal Kombat game, they always introduce new characters. So
Well,
this isn't a new thing for the franchise itself. And people need to realize that it's like, if you just had every character in there that everyone already knows, then you're not really bringing anything new to the table except, oh, here's like a new fight scene or something like
Right.
that.
So I think that's why they did that. But I thought it worked good, and it's cool that he was a part of,
and
the lineage and all that. So like that was good.
It got me to like the way they did the story. I got to like the character. Because a lot of times when people bring in characters or they introduce characters that are supposed to be like the baby face per se.
No kidding.
Yeah, like they bring in this protagonist, like they actually built him up well where I actually liked it. So
Well, look at like even Marvel did it with Phil Coulson in the Iron Man movies. Like it was just
true.
a character, and then look, he got so popular that they made Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. out of it. It actually wound up being a decent show.
They made him. He was a comic book character too. Eventually,
Later on, they actually introduced him in the movies. They made him in the comics after. He actually was the one Marvel
kind
character.
of like what they did with Harley Quinn in Batman animated series.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, and like even The Walking Dead, like Daryl was like one of the biggest characters like everyone loved, and he wasn't in the comics, I believe.
I don't follow Walking Dead like that, so I don't know.
Daryl wasn't?
Watched like one episode of.
I think he was the character that just was kind of made for the show. I could be wrong. I'm sure people are going to comment like, "No, you're wrong," or this and that. But
I don't follow.
yeah.
So I don't know. I watched like one episode of that show ever.
But I loved the movie. I love the fatalities. The contrary to what RJ felt, I loved the fate, like flawless victory. Like to me, like that was awesome.
Like that's what it's about. That's me too. I agree.
Yeah, that was cool. I love that.
If you didn't have those, then it wouldn't be Mortal Kombat.
That is Mortal Kombat. Like that stuff is Mortal Kombat.
True. Okay, I'll give that. I took this to be like a new take on what they.
Oh my god!
I was waiting. I was waiting the whole time for Kano to turn. I was
They
just like,
had
I'm
one
waiting for
abnormality
it.
if
and,
you
like,
watch carefully. One
Yeah.
abnormality.
um,
They did. They had an
The Liu
abnormality.
Kang, right? With the dragon, right? Liu Kang with the dragon, right?
Yes.
and some people like, I saw some people didn't really like Reptile, but on there, but I thought that was crazy good. I'm like, oh,
That was weird.
it was like,
I feel like that was like a weird Easter egg more than it was the character, but it was still awesome.
oh yeah,
Because I'm like,
Then
are you
again,
supposed
but
to
if you
be
played the video
Reptile or
games,
something else?
Reptile was an Easter egg in the fucking first one anyway. If you really think about it, it actually
He
makes
was.
sense. Because if you remember correctly, hey, remember bottom of the pit, backwards, all that good shit? It was so annoying and such a pain in the ass to fight Reptile in Mortal Kombat 1. And then
Yeah.
once you played him, it didn't matter what difficulty you're playing because he was hard as shit because they just made it the hardest difficulty. So he was hard as shit anyway.
like, I'm glad that they didn't like exhaust all of the good popular characters.
Oh yeah.
The first
That's
one, I'm
kind of
glad-
what they did in the original. They just kind of threw them all at you, but like they saved Johnny Cage for the next one, and I hope they
First.
find a way to put him back on.
I'm definitely thinking we'll see. Obviously, we'll see Johnny Cage. That's confirmed if they do have a second one.
Yeah, they already confirmed that. I'm sure they'll
They
do
hinted on it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Has it been greenlit already?
I don't know. I don't know
Johnny
about
Cage?
that, but at the end
No,
of
not
the
the Johnny
movie,
Cage.
you
But I'm saying,
kind of
like
saw
the
it.
actual like movie being made, the second one.
That I don't know.
Greenlight it?
I don't know, but they kind of made
I
left
view-
you.
I
thinking
view
it
it
was
They
like
gave you the
down
potential
here.
for one. They gave you the potential for one. Me and Steven had chatted about this personally, and I think I maybe mentioned it to you guys too, but I still think that the Miz would be the perfect Johnny Cage.
Oh,
ever.
absolutely.
He fucking is designed. His WWE character is Johnny Cage. Oh, there is
Basically.
Johnny Cage isn't a heel. He's a good guy, but like
Yeah.
attitude is heelish. He's a cocky Hollywood guy. Like that's who he is. The rumor going around is that James Marsden is like the ideal cast for him because they think he embodies what Johnny Cage is in real life the most. But
I think he might look kind of similar. I can see it, but I think Miz would play the part better.
that's what I think. I think because every time I think of James Marsden, I just think of Cyclops and X-Men.
Yeah.
That's all I think of.
Oh, I
Or there was that other
thinking-
movie. What was that? Sex
James-
Drive.
Oh,
He was
that's
the brother.
James I was thinking of the other guy,
What
the
other
guy who played Professor X when you said James Marsden.
No, James Marsden was Cyclops.
You were thinking James McAvoy on the.
Yes.
Happens. Also, the other one I suggested, and I actually did this online. As we all know, as wrestling fans, I'm a big Zelina Vega mark. She's like my female, Thea Trinidad. So she posted a Jade cosplay the other day, and I commented, "I will petition." She said something about being in the new Mortal Kombat, the second Mortal Kombat, because she like was praising the movie, and I literally wrote, "I'm like, I will petition to get you to be Jade in that movie," and she loved it. You could tell like she was
Honestly,
happy,
like-
and I like suggested to everybody, and everybody was like, "Yes, please." If I can get the Miz and Thea Trinidad in the new Mortal Kombat, I'd be the happiest guy on the planet.
So the thing with that, I feel like if we got one of those characters in there, we wouldn't be able to get both.
Probably not. Well, it also depends
Not
on how.
unless WWE like had re-signed, Thea
That's
at that point.
true.
Well,
actually,
I
that's
don't
going
know
to
if they
segue
wanna-
into actual wrestling stuff now too.
Uh-huh.
Look at
Because
look at us
they would be
ADD, but
marketing
like
it, so-
appropriately. Guys,
Like, they-
sometimes we actually ADD appropriately.
Yeah.
So
WWE would want to market it, so like they won't market it for Miz and then just act like Thea never existed in WWE.
No, of
Like,
course. I could see that. I could see that being a thing. I would love that, but I get that. But what I will say is let's segue into wrestling because obviously we're talking about Thea Trinidad now and the whole lucha thing and Steven.
yeah, so let's get into it. And speaking, and this will segue too, because Thea Trinidad is to me one of these women who embodies wrestling today, and just like as well as the four horsewomen, if you will, Becky, Charlotte, Bailey, Sasha, and like you got Rhea Ripley, you got all these incredible women, and to me, it started at least Alundra Blaze for me. I mean, you want to go back with Moolah and Mae Young and all that, but
Oh boys, who was going?
getting into the 90s, you got Alundra Blaze, and then I feel that it kind of trickled a bit with Sable and Jackie. That's the whole thing. Jackie to me was a great wrestler, but they kind of turned her into something else. And then the Cat. And then when I watch your Golden Age video, I see a lot of women I agree with on you, but then you put Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson.
No, let me extrapolate on that. The golden era. So not everyone in that era is known for their wrestling like ability. It was the era that existed. So the starting point was roughly around after China had left the company, and it started.
Right.
It's arguably it had started around Survivor Series 2001 when they did the six-pack challenge. It was during during the invasion angle. Like I feel like it was going like maybe in the middle of it or towards the end. And yeah, it's when they had Jazz debut. She was, from ECW.
Oh, let's not forget Jazz, because she originally was brought in ECW, you're right, to fight men. And then she was kind of brought in WWE, her first time actually fighting women. So she, to me, again, is part of, these like amazing women who can wrestle. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but keep going.
You're good. So that was like the starting point. And back in 2009, Trish Stratus had written a blog for her website that had basically said when Victoria retired from WWE in January of 2009, that's when the era, like it was an end of an era, and she always talked about it being the golden era. Even in her Hall of Fame speech, she had mentioned the golden era. And yes, like Stacy and Tori, like they weren't known for being the most incredible wrestlers, but they had the character work. They were still just as important, just as like certain women today are. They don't have to be some women today, they don't have to be the Charlottes and Sashas, Becky and Bailey, or the Asukas. Like they can have other roles and still play a part. And to me, like
there's only one like that though. Out of all the women
back then, she carried SmackDown for the women forever, like for the longest time, because no one really but she got a pop every time she came out. She was an important character.
I think Michelle McCool was more of an
when she finally came in there, but she still wasn't even Michelle started to come into her own and become popular around the time she won the Divas title and then turned heel. Before then, I mean, it was kind of like as Tori left, like she kind of took that spot of like the head person.
I mean, she stole Tori Wilson's team at one point.
Oh yeah, she did.
I guess that makes sense.
You know why I felt kind of bad for Michelle McCool? At SummerSlam 2004 when they had the Divas versus the Divas vs Divas in the volleyball game. Dodgeball. Dodgeball. Excuse me, thank you. She was the MVP of that game, and she gets eliminated the next night.
Well, I think, and I don't know, maybe because I was young then.
She was legit the MVP of that game, and she got eliminated the next night. I was like, damn, that sucks.
That's all popularity contest. That's all fixed. Come on, guys. We don't know that shit's fixed. Come on.
I don't know if it was or not. I don't know if the voting was or not.
I mean,
I feel like
you say the voting or the game
right there. Volleyball games, dance contests, Braun Penny's match. That's not wrestling.
Oh, well, they were taking their bras and panties off. You weren't complaining, bro.
No, okay, all right, fine, but
you weren't complaining. Come on.
Okay, yeah, all right, fine.
My thing is, complaining. I didn't create the name per se, the Golden Era. That was.
Oh yeah, I know you didn't create the name.
That was more so donned by Trish Stratus, and I kind of just when I made the video, I wanted it to be a timeline of from when it started to when it ended, and kind of like the high points and some of the stuff you kind of forgot about that happened in that era.
Sure.
Like when Stephanie and Sable, like it wasn't a real wrestling thing, but just their little rivalry was kind of interesting to have it on SmackDown. There's some people I kind of didn't put in there because I mean, not that they were forgettable, but like they didn't have as big of a role. Like I didn't put like Nydia because like she didn't play a huge role in everything.
Yeah, like the best thing
But,
she
like-
was on was like she was
Like
the first
Shaniqua,
female
like she was there for
tough enough
like a
winner.
second. Like, so I didn't put
Yeah.
everyone in there, but
It's
You know-
it's hard to put everybody in there though. If you think about it,
Yeah.
for that era, there were a lot of talent in and out of that era anyway.
right.
Like that was a
So-
weird time in wrestling. There was a lot of wrestlers that like popped in and out. Like they were there for about 5 minutes and then they were gone. And you never
Did
saw them
you
again.
put Ivory in there? I don't remember. 'Cause
Yes, I
she, I
did.
mean, she was
Of
important.
course, yeah.
She was important.
Yeah, the thing with Ivory, so she was on the beginning parts of it. Like she was like kind of finishing her career as like the golden era was
Yeah,
starting.
like
She did play a part in the beginning.
like the end of the '90s, early 2000s was like her best years. Ivory. in
Like
my
so she
opinion.
started like kind of filtering out at the beginning of the golden era, but she still I had her in there.
Yeah.
And
So
I think some people were kind of surprised and they forgot some of the things that were in there, like Jacqueline winning the cruiserweight title from Chavo. Like
That was
Oh, I remember that.
yeah, I did.
but I mean, like, I couldn't go and mention like the high points and stuff like that without having to mention like the Diva search. It happened. You can't forget it. It was
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
popular at the time when it happened.
Yeah, I mean,
First, they were popular.
Yeah,
think about
But
this
then
though.
when
If
you
there's
see
no
the
Diva
way
search,
the
we don't have no
business has
Layla.
evolved.
We don't get no Eve Torres if it wasn't for the Diva search. No Michelle
No.
McCool.
No
Right.
Ashley
So those
Massaro.
things were
Yeah, true.
those things built them to be something different. So it played its own role.
But you did get Exana. Ugh.
She wasn't in the golden era, but
Wait,
Oh
I
no!
thought she came from
But I was
NXT.
saying to his point with the Diva search. To his
No, I'm
point with
saying
the D. Oh no, that was.
Yeah, she came from
Exana
that
was
Diva
later.
season NXT.
yeah, she was in
Oh
NXT.
yeah,
She
true,
was in
true.
That was later.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
But no, I mean, I definitely, if I would have I couldn't do the golden era and just focus on Raw and everything that happened with the women's championship, because to me that's not all that was. Like I feel like with wrestling, like you can't just focus on the people who are really good wrestlers because the characters in general help make it what it is.
Yeah.
True.
Right?
I don't know.
Like,
I feel-
like perfect example, like Toy Wilson. Is she gonna go out there and give you like a Charlotte 5-star match? No, but one, she was decent, and two, she was very marketable.
Yeah,
She made a lot of money for the company. Her and Stacey Keebler, they weren't the best
angle
wrestlers, but they
toward-
made a lot of
Dawn
money.
Marie was great. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that little lesbo angle. Apparently, she didn't want to do that. Apparently, she was one of those girls behind the scene. Oh, I don't do lesbo shit. She was one of those. Apparently.
Well, it was like leading the whole live sex thing. She didn't want to do that. She got like, and both Cena and Edge tried to like get Vince to not make her do it, but Vince being Vince.
Well, Vince doesn't give a shit. Vince
Oh
wants
well,
shock
yes, we
value
know.
forever.
We know this.
Why are we surprised about this? Why he's been looking for shock value since 1984.
It's the same dude
With the
that
global
like, had
expansion.
his daughter walking around wearing no bra on national television. So nothing surprises me about him anymore.
The big
I
man.
will say there's times when it really like where his ideas actually play out phenomenally, and then there's times where it shows he might be out of touch in certain things, and
He's old.
it's
Vince
and
out of
it's a different-
touch? No,
No, not Vince.
Nah, not Vince.
Not Vince. Not the
Oh,
75-year-old man.
Hey, I don't
been-
want to talk about a possible future boss here.
Oh yeah, true that.
Let's
Oh
actually.
yeah,
We should actually touch on that. No, so
yeah, we should. I do want to say one thing though.
go for it.
There is one wrestler today who might have been better for the Diva era, and she's kind of the one of these things is not like the other. I'm talking about CJ Perry, Lana.
I knew. Oh yeah. So I would say the same about Carmella too.
So, and we were actually
Carmella,
talking about that.
no.
Me and Chuck were
Carmella
talking
is
about that
good.
because I had said to Chuck that I like that Carmella came back with that new character only because it's good to have a variety.
Yeah.
Not everyone has to be a 4 horsewomen.
Or an Oscar.
Or an Oscar. Like, look at Alexa Bliss. She's not in the title picture. Hasn't been really serious title picture in like what a couple years. Besides the tag.
Well, she was. I mean, she just lost.
Outside that cup of coffee she had, that little cup of coffee rivalry she had with Oscar, when she got the title shot and Orton Arcade Older. Other than that, but
that wasn't really a feud. I don't think that was more just to push the Randy Orton thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. That wasn't. I feel like Alexa Bliss hasn't really been in like an angle with the women in a minute.
which is fine.
And she's kind of hinting that she's going back to it.
Because she
Yeah.
was in the Rumble. She was in the Rumble for like what, like a minute maybe?
But if you heard her recent promo,
but she's one of those people that she's so good at what she does, she doesn't need to be involved with the title to get over with the fans.
well, I since you mentioned Alexa Bliss, I'm not really. I don't know, man. I don't like this new character. The way the match between the Fiend and Orton ended with her looking like a moron. I mean, I didn't like it.
I'm going to respectfully disagree. I thought that match did exactly what it needed to. It was literally for the
I just
horror
think
movie
the match
buffs,
could have went longer.
it was doing what the mother did to Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th movies, where he was sending her home pretty much. That was almost what I got out of it.
Yeah, from a horror aspect, I thought that was
Really well
that
done.
part was done well. I just think the match could have gone longer, and it could have been a better match leading up to that. I don't mind the ending part,
But they
but
could have done more with the match and before it went to that. Yeah.
like
They
I
could have
think
had
people
more
were
time.
expecting that more because they were like, I know a lot of people were like, "Wait, it's over already?" Like that was
Yeah.
quick.
Like that's
The
it.
entrances lasted longer than the match. It seemed, you know.
Well, yeah, I feel like the whole Orton Wyatt thing was literally just to end the angle, and that's how they did it. But again, I feel like it's WrestleMania, and we've all said this 100 times. Like they're on such time constraints with WrestleManias because they want to squeeze so much shit into so much time.
But they made it 2 days long.
Right.
They still I still think they over squeezed for the 2 days.
They overbook things definitely.
But I get it. They want it to be a spectacle as it should be, but there's other ways to do it where it doesn't have to be 2 days long.
And I almost feel like there's a backstage. I don't want to say expectation among some of the talent, but of course, everyone wants to be on the card.
Yeah.
But I do think. I don't know if it's just Vince or whoever, but I think they try to put as many people on the card as they can. If you've noticed that's why they have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. That's why they have all these other matches that are multi-person matches because
They did the Friday instead of Saturday.
Yeah.
Which I disagree with them.
That was also a ratings ploy to make SmackDown more valuable. And now they want to make WrestleMania such a spectacle that they're doing WrestleMania Backlash. Not just Backlash anymore. Now it's WrestleMania Backlash.
WrestleMania Backlash. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I will say
Backlash was kind of like, I always thought the name Backlash coming right after Mania kind of was self-explanatory. It was kind of revenge for certain characters. Like
that's what I thought. You don't really need to reiterate
didn't need to have the WrestleMania tagline in there.
Like, what are we going to do? The WrestleMania Elimination Chamber to hype it up? You already called the Royal Rumble the road to WrestleMania. Like, what else do you need? Fucking the first half of the year is all WrestleMania related.
And now it's the road after WrestleMania with a WrestleMania name attached.
Oh my
WrestleMania
God.
Backlash.
But
road to post WrestleMania.
But I do want to. I know because 8:00 is going to be here before we know it. So I do want to talk about the dude in the hot seat tonight, Mr. Steven Fillmore.
Stevie Wrestling, sweet
wrestling, whatever. So it sounds like are you still involved in wrestling? It sounds like you still kind of want to pursue this.
Years ago, I had trained at for Maryland Championship Wrestling, based right in Joppa, where I live. Actually, it's right down the street. I could walk.
Where in Maryland are you exactly?
Joppa, Maryland. So it's about like 25, 30 minutes north of Baltimore City.
Okay.
So I'm in the county though.
Wait a minute. Isn't that where what's his name's from?
Leo Rush.
The chin guy. 2 hands. Carmella's lackey.
Oh,
You guys
Reginald.
Oh, Reginald.
Reginald.
No. The other lackey. I can't. James
Ellsworth.
Ellsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't he a Maryland,
Yeah.
a Baltimore guy?
Yep.
Shows on Rich Swann, actually.
Rich Swann.
Do you know those guys? Have you ever gotten the opportunity to work with them or meet them or anything?
I've met James Ellsworth. I have not met Rich Swann, but I did get a chance to train and with Leo Rush and Velveteen Dream. I don't know if his name is like.
Oh wow.
I don't know if his name is a name you can't mention anymore, but
We're okay
yeah,
in this
yeah, you're
group.
good.
We're okay with Leo Rush. Like I told you, we're okay with Leo.
No, he's
What's
talking about
wrong with
Velveteen
Leo
Dream.
Rush?
No, he's
Nothing.
talking about Velveteen Dream.
No, I've been a degenerate, Rod. You know
Oh
me.
my
Or
god.
what happened? I don't know. I didn't even know Velveteen Dream was he part of the spoken out thing too?
He had
Yeah,
his other-
apparently, yeah.
his
Like,
own variances of it, yeah, but it was different than like the major other ones. It was a little bit sectored.
Is that why we're not seeing him on TV?
I think that's
That-
part
yeah.
of it, but I think it went past that.
I mean, just like why what's the name got taken off TV for a while? Deary got taken on for a while. Same reason.
Yeah.
Who?
Austin Deary.
I don't. Yeah, I
I'm
don't
embarrassed
know,
to admit that I have the
Oh.
same birthday as Velveteen
Theory's
Dream.
on though.
Fun fact: I have the same.
Oh,
birthday
he
as
was
Velveteen.
off for a while though.
You know who else has my birthday though? Percy Watson and Lillian Garcia, so it makes up for it.
I share the same.
All right, but all right. So this is what we do, just so you know, dude. So go ahead.
Yeah,
Bear
thanks,
with
Chuck.
Bear with us.
I will say, like, and I know, like, I mean, I didn't the stuff, with the controversies with, both Leo and Velveteen Dream, and as far as mainstream wrestling goes, I didn't know them in that way. They were always like chill with me. You definitely can tell people's personalities and how people are, but they never rubbed me the wrong way as far as like they never, as people, like there were people that I trained with that were dicks that I still don't care for, but those two weren't one of them. Like
They're cool though. That's good.
and when I got a chance to actually wrestle with them in the ring, they take care of you in their matches. Like they will make you look like $1 million. They know what they're doing. And that was them when they were just starting out.
Oh, I was going to ask you yet. So they, when you start out there, you kind of started out around the same time as them.
Yes, they were in the class right before mine. Like this, they started a few months before me.
Whose school was it?
Maryland Championship Wrestling.
Right, but who ran it? Was it a known person? Or?
Dan McDevitt. But I had once I actually kind of became like certified, like I passed, like the tests they have and stuff. I had to take time off because just like I have like a neurological issue, so medically I had to take time off, and then I was having back issues at the same time, which was weird because when I wrestled in the ring, I did not feel any like back pain, like it was fine.
Yeah.
It would be like certain days at work, like I'd bend down for something, and I'd get like a shooting pain where like I'd be stuck. I couldn't.
Wearing like your lower back.
Yeah, but then I like learned that my dad actually had the same problem and still does. My problem basically has gone away over the years because I've just done like more my own personal physical therapy and just training, knowing what my body can handle. But that being said, I have recently dipped back into it, and I've been helping my buddy with PRWA, Puerto Rican Wrestling Alliance, and that name's been around forever, but he's kind of brought it to the States. We've had some guys that were training CZW right now that have come and been a part of the shows, people in MCW. We've had some like good Puerto Rican talent come up, and
That's
some guys
awesome.
you'll probably see coming up soon. I think one of them might be one of them's featured on AEW Dark sometimes. Dark, but
Danny Limelight,
the guy with the long hair?
Angel Fashion.
Yeah.
No, that's not who I was thinking of.
Oh.
There's one guy on there who looks like almost like reminds me very much of Uvatu Guerrero.
Oh, Vary Morales.
Yeah.
No, he's not in that. But I'm supposed to start up again with the training and stuff. But they had shows. We were doing tapings back in December for a bunch of shows that I was kind of helping get this. I don't want to say producing it, but in a way, yeah. Like I was kind of making sure everything moved because we did a bunch of episodes in one day from like early in the morning to like late at night, and over like it was
Can these be viewed
huh?
anywhere?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. What was that?
If people want it, can people watch these? Or
Yes,
is it
it's on
not
YouTube.
aired? Not
You
aired
look
yet?
up PRWA. And I can
Okay.
send Chuck the link. You'll put it in the description.
Yeah, put any link that we mentioned, we always put in the things so people
Yeah,
can
we'll
look
put
at
it in
them.
the description.
Yeah,
Here's
send me
what
all
you
the links.
didn't
I'll
bring
definitely
up,
promote
though.
all this.
So was Lindsay Dorado your trainer?
No, he wasn't. No.
So how did that? I mean, was that also part of Maryland Wrestling, or is that another thing altogether?
So I actually met Lindsay last year during when the pandemic first started. He was running his Twitch, and it kind of just like a friendship kind of just happened. Like it's hard to really explain like when the
Oh, wow.
starting point really
I thought
was.
you like worked with it.
Oh,
Okay, that's
yeah,
actually cool though.
that's-
Still,
So
That's
No,
what.
this happened back when they were allowed to have Twitch.
yeah, well, when they weren't not allowed.
Well,
Nothing was against it yet because I don't think Vince really knew what was going on with.
I still think Vince knows what Twitch is. I think the yes men got in his ear that Twitch was what it was, and they explained to Vince what
I
it was.
think
and
he
Vince's like, I can't
still
have it.
thinks. I mean, I think he still thinks Twitter is the end all be all at this point.
Well, and that's the thing is
People
that,
still use Twitter though. Twitter's still very popular,
I think that
believe it or not.
for certain wrestlers, it's who aren't in up, down, down, and they're not certain guys. Because certain wrestlers, certain WE guys still have Twitch, I believe. I think they're mostly NXT though. I don't know if there's like different rules with that, but
it's possible because
I think for some of the main roster guys who can't have Twitch, they still end up posting stuff on their Twitter and Instagram that are kind of similar anyway.
Yeah,
That's true.
But I don't know if our friendship basically started like as me just kind of being a fan, like tuning into the streams, and then it was like really quick. We just kind of became friends. We both have a background in college background in education. He was a teacher for 6
That's
years.
pretty cool.
Teacher.
Sure.
oh wow.
He was a teacher.
Yeah, he was a math
Oh, wow.
teacher for like
Oh,
high school, and he taught remedial college classes too. So he was all
So
over.
he went the Mass Striker route then.
Huh?
He went the Mass Striker route.
Probably, yeah.
yeah,
Hey, Michelle McCool too.
Technically, yeah, that's true. That was a real thing.
yeah.
But yeah, we had that in common. I think in the I think the fact that I was bilingual also kind of helps, like just having that, knowing like the certain jokes that some people don't get. And we just had similar interests, like the Mortal Kombat.
Oh, cool.
Growing up, Power Rangers.
Well, that explains what that video now that you
Yeah.
posted, Lindsay Dorado and Mulder. That was funny.
Yeah, so big time nerd, great guy.
We're all
He
nerds.
actually-
It's all right.
He helped me back in October, because when the pandemic happened, like I had to stop going to my personal trainer, obviously, like, and his gym ended up closing down, his studio. So I was trying to do the Zoom workouts every week, and it just wasn't the same because I didn't have the music going like that. I needed like that I needed that interaction where like you're pushing me right then. Like I need the face-to-face in-person type thing if I'm going to having
No, I get that.
trainer.
I get that.
But because I couldn't do, like, there was only so much you can do from your living room.
Yeah.
Right.
And so like I think I gained like I don't know how much I really gained, because I'm one of those people, like if I know I'm just not eating right, I won't look at the scale. But
Kind
I
of
got
insane.
to I remember Lindsay talking about, someone had posed a question on Twitch the one time about getting into shape and stuff like that, and I kind of took him up on it afterwards and was talking to him, and I was like, what can I do I was like, I want to get in shape. I really wanted to lose weight. And people were surprised at how much. Like, I really haven't told anyone how much I told a few people how much I started out as, but so I'm like 6'3". So October 9th, I believe it was October 9th, I started, and October 9th or 10th, I started, and I was 290 pounds.
Okay.
And no one could really tell that. I mean, you could tell I was like thicker around the face then, and this looks like it's a lot. It's just a beard. I really don't look this thick.
I can relate to you though, because I had a really bad weight problem as well that almost led to I was in the pre-diabetes stage, so I had to do something about it too.
Yeah. Well, like,
So I understand.
so he gave me like some of the best advice, and it's weird because like I had a trainer on and off since 2009, but I think coming from a different, sometimes you have to hear, even if you hear the same thing from somebody else, you have to hear it in a different way.
Sure.
Like, and it just hits different. And I think the way that Lindsay put it into words and said it to me, it just, everything clicked. Like, he told me like things here's what you do. Start with a 3-week thing. Don't eat the fried, stay away from fried foods. I really wasn't eating a lot anyway.
That's
I'd have
good.
fried
I have that problem. I eat too much.
like I wasn't really eating food like that
Yeah.
anyway, but like I enjoyed French fries here and there. So for like a little while, I wasn't eating some French fries. Like, I didn't really drink soda, so that wasn't a big deal. To certain things, it was easy to cut out. But he was basically like, write everything down, and pretty much, because it's when you're losing weight like that, it's like 90/80% diet and like 20 or 10% exercise. So when I started out, it was like kind of like beginning mid-fall. It was still nice weather out here in Maryland, so I would just go jog around the neighborhood like 2 or 3 times a week. I was already active at work because I'm on my feet all day, so that I was getting enough exercise that week. My diet was on point. I was staying within my calorie range that I needed to. And I know people are like, "Oh my God, counting calories," but
I've been there. It sucks.
it can be done once you actually get the hang of it.
Yeah, okay. It's about being disciplined to keep at it, though. That's the problem.
And that's the thing. That's with if you're trying to lose weight or gain muscle, everything's discipline.
Of course.
I still lack discipline in certain areas. That's why I try to maintain what I call, my cheat days, but I do it very sporadically.
Sure.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I remember I was doing really good, and I think Halloween, that was my 3-week mark. So that's and I didn't really eat dinner that night because I was scaring trick-or-treaters when they came to the house.
As you should be.
Like, me and my family go all out for Halloween, like on that day, like we have tent set up, it's crazy. But so we didn't really eat until after we were done trick-or-treating. And I ate we had like Domino's pizza.
Sorry.
I think I had like 4 or 5 slices. I was that hungry. And I knew I'd eaten like shit, and I'd eaten way past the time I usually do, because I wasn't trying to eat past 8 or 9 on most days. And all these things, I'm like, crap, when I wake up tomorrow, it's going to be like horrible.
I have those days sometimes on my work schedule. It's terrible.
When I woke up the next morning, weighed myself, I dropped like 2 or 3 pounds. And I remember texting Lindsay, and I was like, something just happened. And I told him what happened. He's like, your body's basically resetting. And since then, I've noticed that, I'll stick to my diet. I'm good. If I go out like once a month and have like Taco Bell or something, I end up losing weight, because your body just learns to, I don't know, the way it processes things is so different.
Right.
Those cheat days, like when they say cheat days, that's a legit thing. Your body can handle those when you get to a certain point.
People have also said to me, I don't know how true it is, but if you crave something so much, sometimes you just gotta have it, but as long as you're not doing it constantly. I don't know how true that is. I mean,
I'm sure there's some truth to that.
Yeah,
I would assume there's some truth to that.
I mean, I've definitely gave into my cravings, but in times where I knew I could. Like
Sure.
Like,
usually,
like for
usually during the
example-
week, I'm fine.
Right.
When it comes to like Saturday, I knew that's my day. Usually, like once a week, at least once a week, I'm kind of eating not great stuff, but
Right.
I still make sure by Sunday night or Monday morning, I'm kind of at the weight I need to be at. I know how to maintain at this point. I think it was back in March, like mid-March, is when I reached the 50-pound mark. So I'd lost 50 pounds in
Nice.
Congrats.
like 4 or 5 months or whatever. So that was kind of my main goal. Now I might want to lose like 20 more because I'm a little over the 50 mark. Like I'm kind of teetering, but I eventually would like to lose a little more and put more muscle back on. So
Right.
So let me ask you a
too.
question as of just curiosity. So if let's say you're trying to get back into wrestling, you're trying to like cut to a certain size, like what size are you trying to be for what you're trying to do at wrestling? Like what would your ideal size be for like as a wrestler? If that's the goal, like what's like your ideal like muscle weight, or I
I
guess.
feel like my body type that I would like to be at, if I, got to the point of WWE, I think Randy Orton's physique is like kind of where I would want to be. And he's
So
only
kind of like slender, muscular.
yeah, like the thing is like he kind of teeters sometimes, like where he gets thicker at times, and then but he's still he's a toned guy. He's very toned.
Yeah, he
But
is.
I think like if you look at like his stature, his physique versus like John Cena, like I feel like I would rather have more of like the Randy Orton size.
Yeah, you don't look like you're roided out all the time.
Pipe down.
Rod gets really pissed off when we mention John Cena's steroid physique.
Pipe down.
But I mean, I'm just saying, I feel like that's something I would
No, I
probably
got you.
like before. And then you were asking me before we started the show, kind of like moveset, because like I'm a big Lucha Libre fan, which
Yeah.
is your shirt too.
Yeah. I wanted the cheap pop tonight, bro. I wanted the cheap prop from you.
No,
my God.
I do. When I was training, when I started training before, I had learned a good amount of lucha moves. The ones that I could do for my size. I feel like I would like to be where, kind of like the Mil Muertes, where he does things, but he's also like the powerhouse of the you need the powerhouse of the luchas, kind of.
No, of course, I get that. That's actually cool that you
He's a big
said that.
dude.
And like kind of like I wouldn't mind having similarities to like Brian Cage, even though he was actually shorter than I expected when I met him. I was like, oh wow. Like,
Me and Rod met him. He was a cool guy. Me and Rod. Had Rod misplaced his autograph. Him and Melissa Santos hung on to his autograph the whole show for him.
I know, they're awesome
Are you
for that.
more of a ground guy? Almost there.
Probably my biggest flaws, I would say, when I was training was doing like the reversing and like doing like certain like grappling. Like there were certain things where those were the hardest parts for me.
Right.
Conditioning I got really good at. Actually, like executing moves, learning moves, I was pretty good at. I think it's always just been like I want to get better as being like at doing submissions and being more technical. Like that would be ideal if I could. I mean, I'm never really going to be Daniel Bryan, I don't think, but
Right.
I would like to try. I would like to try and get somewhere with that.
I guess what I'm trying to find out is you saying, where your lucha stature is. Do you feel more comfortable doing the aerial stuff? Do you doing,
to an extent, yeah. I feel like, there's certain moves, and I've actually just started getting more comfortable with using the ropes for moves. Like when I was back in December when we were taping, I was kind of getting more used to it. My fears have gone away from it a little more, but I remember being so scared for a while. Like I would go to try and do the 619 and I would stop right at the ropes. I'm like, no, I can't do that. Like, because you're just like, I was overthinking things too much. But I don't know, I'll get to a point where I can do more of that. And it's weird because a lot of my moves were like a mix of, I did try to incorporate as many Rey Mysterio moves as I could because he's my idol, but I had some of Randy Orton's stuff. I did have like
I like that.
one of the submissions I did was that I love doing is the Muda Lock.
That's a cool move. I love the Great Muda.
Like
He's one of my all-time
like to
favorites.
have like different things that
period.
I like different things that you don't always see people do. Like I liked I always want to incorporate like the Lotus Lock. Like no one really does that anymore.
I know that's a
Remind me of that one again.
So they're sitting down and you're sitting behind them and you basically have their arms back and you I'm putting my legs up, but like you put their
Is
legs
that like the
crossed behind
surfboard?
their neck. So you're like
Is that like the surfboard?
No, not quite. But it's,
no, because surfboard is when you're like laying and you have them on top and you kind of pull
this
them like
one
that.
right behind them.
No, it's literally, it's like you have the guy, you're the boss sitting, you're kind of just yanking them.
Okay.
That's
okay.
what you mean, right? That's what you mean by Lotus Lock, right? That's when we like kind of yanking them.
Yeah.
I feel like the closest guy who does anything even like that anymore is like a Zack Sabre Jr. Like he still does a lot of that.
Well, like I knew, like, and being buddies with Melina, like I always kind of like respected her moveset. It was like always, I think she always kind of was very creative and I think ahead of her time, honestly.
Say Melina?
I would have loved to see Prime Melina like face like Sasha Banks today. Like
that'd still be a good match. If I mean, I'm sure she could still work at a decent
she
rate.
could still work. I mean, I saw her and Victoria go at it a couple years ago in the ring, but so the Lotus Lock she had done, and also the Muda Lock. So I did like a lot of the way she did her submissions. But yeah, I try to take from each of my favorites, like male or female. If there's something that was a really good move, I'm like, hey, I want to try that.
Did who was it? Didn't Caitlyn use that move for a while?
Which one? The Lotus Lock?
Yeah.
I think so. I know Zack Sabre Jr. does like variances of it in his matches in Japan. I've seen him do a lot of that stuff. He does a lot of arm yanking in general, though. Like that's kind of his thing, and he'll like go from a Lotus Lock into some weird other hold from it.
So my finisher was probably exactly what I want. What I've always wanted was where you mix kind of like you have the lucha background in it, but it's also kind of a powerhouse move.
Okay.
It was the Gory Bomb.
Oh, that's a great move. That's a great move.
That it's
Didn't Chavo do
not
that?
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think every Guerrero ever did the Gory Bomb.
Kaylee Ray currently uses it.
Who?
Kaylee Ray currently uses it as her finisher.
Oh, the Gory Bomb?
Yeah.
I feel like it's, for the most part, it's a very protected move. It can be. I mean, I know the Gory Neckbreaker is Victoria's finisher. Like, I don't think anyone's ever kicked out of that.
No.
Probably not.
At least when she's done, I don't think anyone's ever actually kicked out of it. So I like
Yeah,
it.
I think Abaddon uses it now too.
Oh, the Widow's Peak you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That wasn't, you know whose move that was originally, right?
That was
I want to
Roderick
see
Strong.
who knows. Yep.
Roderick Strong, yeah. I know the whole backstory behind that. Molly Holly had like seen tapes of them wrestling, and yeah, it was cool how that all happened. And Roddy was young then, so it's like
16, I think.
yeah. So
he broke in. Did he start young? He's another one who started like really young.
Oh yeah, and it's so weird because he still seems like super young now.
He's only like 40, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's like crazy. I think his size also, he seems like really like young.
I want to see what they want to do with Roderick Strong. He's one wrestler because they're kind of having that he's done with NXT thing going right now. I want to see what they do with him.
I hope I think he's going to go to SmackDown. Hopefully.
You think he's going to be the first call up of the Undisputed guys based on how it's going?
Oh yeah, I mean if he's done an NXT, he's done an NXT. So I mean
that's true.
He was there first. He did get there before any of the other guys got there.
That's a good point.
I think SmackDown would utilize him.
I don't want him to go to SmackDown or Raw. For me, I think like once a great NXT guys goes to the next level, things change, and you know
they have to. Love it and hate it. It has to.
Better. Not for the better.
Not always, no. But that comes with the territory of being in that company. We all know that. That comes with that territory, though.
You got to think the stages are different. Like, I mean, there are certain guys like Ciampa, who didn't he say he'd rather just be in NXT forever?
Yeah,
he wants to be in
NXT. His neck is bad though. Like his neck can't handle the main roster. That's why like once they start touring again, once like everything goes, he says his neck can't handle that schedule like that. That's why he wants to stay in NXT.
And that's fine, and that's
He's
cool.
got
They have
injuries.
that, and that's on
His
TV.
body,
and
yeah.
Have that for certain people, but I feel like there are still people in NXT who desire to eventually get to Raw and SmackDown because
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Again, there's a point where yes, the fans drive the wrestler, but at the same time, wrestlers still have their aspirations and still have to make money.
Right, they want to be on the WrestleMania card.
Yeah.
A lot of them, and you can't really do that as much if you're in NXT unless randomly Rhea Ripley, defending the NXT title last year.
She got lucky. She got a lucky break with that.
Right.
But I think that was also because she was wrestling Charlotte, and they wanted to give the ratings ploy to NXT, so they put the whole thing with Charlotte.
Yeah.
The day, I love Charlotte. Charlotte's one of my favorites, but the day they put the belt on Io Shirai, I was ecstatic.
Oh yeah.
Io Shirai
That was a hell of a run.
Io Shirai is fantastic, like straight up. She's
In
one
my
of my
opinion,
favorites.
she's had the second best freaking championship run of any Japanese female.
Yeah, next to Asuka. But if you really,
No.
honest-
I'm talking about like right now, as in like any Japanese female who's a champion. Top is Hikaru Shida. In my opinion, Shida's run as champion was better than Shirai's run. Not by much.
longer, yeah,
but it
okay,
was
okay,
better.
fair.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I think-
But my point is, like,
Oh,
you all
yeah.
laugh, but in WWE level, Asuka and Io Shirai are officially like the two most successful Japanese wrestlers almost ever in WWE ring, except for like
Oh,
yeah.
the 80 like pre like global expansion, because obviously Vince Senior had a decent working relationship with Inoki in the day and like actually promoted and knew how to market Japanese wrestlers. Vince never got that formula, even when they had the working relationship with New Japan in the late 80s and early 90s. Like they never really did anything special with the Japanese guys. They didn't know what to do. A lot of the Japanese guys that they used, unfortunately, I felt couldn't adapt to the American way, or the American guys couldn't adapt to the Japanese
in my
style.
opinion, before like Nakamura came, you probably could say like in the 2000s, the most successful Japanese guy they had was Tajiri.
Probably.
Jerry was, yeah.
Tajiri
I mean,
is
what's his
awesome.
name? They tried Taka Michinoku for a little bit,
wow.
but
He had his run,
Once
but
he went
like,
to Kai's High, that was it. Once he went to Kai's High, that was it.
yeah.
I feel like it was weird because
I love that Dick Togo's in New Japan right now.
I feel like in like the 2000s they were able to really market to like the Latino community, but they couldn't do it really with the Asian community, and now they like switched.
Yeah, but even with the Asian community, they still don't get it right. I feel that's just my opinion for what I like in Asian wrestling. I used to work with a guy at one of my old jobs. This guy, he used to be an MMA fighter, and he was a big fan of wrestling too. Like he had like leg problems. He had to stop fighting, and also he had like a fiance that like really wasn't into that. He was Indian, so he was big in the whole Asian persuasion too. We had that conversation constantly at work. And it's not just Japanese; it's all Asian styles, like Indian.
Right.
They don't know how to like market to Asians. Like they're trying so hard with this NXT India. I want to see what it does, but I feel like they're really gonna have a hard time.
That's kind of my point, though, is that they're trying. That's more their focus now. They want to do more of that.
Yeah,
I think a lot of like the Mexican wrestling is, and like just lucha libre in general is taking a back seat. Where before in 2000s,
yeah.
and Ray and everything,
Ray, Eddie,
were loving
before he
it.
passed.
Well, they were also when they were still on Channel 9 when it was a heavy Hispanic audience. They were trying to cater to that Hispanic audience too.
Right. To me, I feel like they need to just, if it's going to be World Wrestling Entertainment, and I'm the kind of guy like I don't like identity politics bull crap. Like
None of us do.
so. With that being said, I do think when it comes to wrestling, there needs to be representation. Each culture,
I agree.
Each culture, each style, each race, whatever, like they need to be represented.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it can't just be the white American wrestler forever.
You can't have you can't and you can't just have every guy that you have come in that's from another nation expect to just conform to that phony baloney American style that they call it. The phony baloney American style, because compared to like what like lucha libre is, or like what the strong style in Japan or UK is, I feel like WWE, like in that style, it's entertainment wrestling. It's like that goofy phony wrestling that's like it's almost entertainment. It's not spot wrestling, because that's not really what spot wrestling is, but like I feel like it's weird. It's
I think WWE tries to focus, like the American wrestling, I think, is they try to focus more on
The entertainment than the sport.
entertainment and the storytelling more than anything, which is very important.
Of course.
But I think American wrestling now just needs to be a more of a melting pot. It just like
There was one downfall. We were talking about like Shida and Io Shirai. There was one downfall with the belt, Rod. As long as Riho never gets it back, that will be fine. What?
Oh my God,
Jay hates Rio. It's hilarious.
Steve! I swear this is what happened. Jay asked Rio out on a date. Rio politely declined, and Jay can't get over it. That's why
It has to be.
I swear.
And
that's
it's a
why
shame
what
too because I met
happened.
Rio on that at Jericho Cruise, and she was cool as shit. Actually, it was funny too because me and my buddy Derek were going back to our room, and Rio and Kenny Omega walked right past our room. We were like getting ready to get changed, and we were chatting with them for 2 minutes. They were cool as shit. They were cool.
I
As
told
shit.
you why I don't like Riho.
Yeah, we know.
for-
She turned you down.
Yeah, well, no, because she screwed over because of how she treated Britt Baker.
Oh, because you're,
Oh my
like you're a Britt
God.
Baker, Mark. Britt
Yep.
Baker is fantastic.
I don't have anything against Riho. I do like Hikaru.
Hikaru Shida is awesome.
Yes, I always like when I
She's
try to say her
amazing.
name too fast, I mess up
Hikaru
everything.
Shida, yeah, no, I got
So
it.
do
Yeah,
I.
no.
Is it
I
Hikaru
like-
or
I do like her.
Hikaru.
It and it sucks because like I really wish that between AEW and WWE, like both companies could put their egos aside and like I wish we would have gotten like an AEW NXT type.
Like crossover.
I
You
like
know
the
Tony Khan would do
WWE
it.
ego. Like you see
Tony Khan would do it in a flash.
Yeah, but you know Vince ain't.
Vince won't.
Yeah.
Triple H would, but again, the
Yeah.
problem with that though is Vince still oversees everything, so Vince will get Triple H there and
Vince
say
still
no.
has his
the thing is,
1980s philosophy that
Hey.
I'll make WWE better by buying out my competition. That's his philosophy still.
Well, and even though Tony Khan would do it,
He
you don't
would.
think there'd still be some ego with the booking?
Oh hell yeah!
Like,
Of course.
But
the-
that's what
the thing-
happens when you do crossovers. You got to put your ego aside.
Yes.
I mean,
I
this
don't
is a
think-
prediction
so
for
far it's
tonight. This
working.
is a mere prediction for tonight, but I'm not. This is not a spoiler. This is my prediction. I'm probably not even going to watch it, but I would almost bet to say that Kenny Omega beats Rich Swann tonight.
No, I
Oh.
feel I disagree with that. I think Swan's going to take it.
Hey, Rod, do I have to buy it through
Because
Fight,
first
or
of
can
all,
I buy
Swan
it through
needs it a lot
Impact?
more than Omega. He needs it a
Yes,
lot
Swann
more
needs
than
it more, but Omega is
it-
such the better talent, and Rich Swann's
I
kind of
want
overrated.
Omega to win, just
Yeah,
because.
okay, that's a lie. Swan is not overrated. The most charismatic champion Impact's had in a long time.
You know,
Okay,
I'm
Swan's
a
good,
Swan guy. You know,
Omega's better.
I'm just
hometown boy.
breaking Rod's chops. No, I'm breaking Rod's chops right now.
He's a hometown boy, so I gotta.
You got to pull for Swan, and you're
That's
friends
cool.
with Swan,
I
right?
think he's going to do it. All these people are acting like, we should just hand Omega the title because Swan has no chance. I think Swan's going to pull the upset all tonight.
I think
That would be cool if that happened, but
It would be
I
cool if
gotta
it did
go with
happen.
Omega.
I think
Just
it would
because
be
of
a
the
better
storyline
decision
reasons.
because of the shock factor a little bit.
I would agree with that. That I could agree with.
Like that would be the better decision in my opinion. Plus, like I don't know. I feel like with the whole AEW Impact involvement, like the working relationship, I feel like Impact's not getting that much of a.
So, are we
They're not getting
now
anything out
for
of
They're not really getting
Rebellion
anything out of
predictions?
it. It's just
No.
more like AEW taking over.
And it's funny too
Like I
because
just hate.
like it's funny too
Because
because
with the
like
Tony Khan promos,
yeah, Tony like Impact will put over AEW, but you don't hear shit about Impact on AEW.
Exactly.
The most you
That
saw
pisses
was
me
you would
off.
see Anderson and Gallows with the tag titles. That was like the most you saw.
The thing, and that annoys the hell out of me. You know, like your champion who could possibly lose your world title to a guy that's not even in the company, and they didn't even start mentioning the match on Dynamite until Wednesday night. This match has been booked for like freaking a month and some change now. You just now mentioned it on your top show. That's stupid.
Unfortunate, and it sucks too because the unfortunate reality of it is, and you can all hate me for saying this, but unfortunately, I'm going to say it. It's just personal opinion. I'm not knocking it, but I feel like Impact as a company is a shell of its former self. Completely, it
I think
is.
Impact is in a
I
way
think it's getting better.
than
I
it
think
was.
They're
think
trying to
it's
make it
slowly
better,
but
but too
surely.
much damage has been done that no matter how much you build off of it, unless you get that right management and that right influence of people running the ship, it's always gonna still be a shell of itself. Too much damage has been done.
I think Impact is very underrated. Like I don't watch it every week, so I'm not gonna pretend I do. But when I do tune in, for a long time, like I feel like they do have solid women's division.
I gotta get everything set up.
Like they do have like a solid roster like total. Like and some of the storylines have actually been really good. And we got to give Impact credit because I think me and you touched on this a little bit. Maybe I don't remember.
Again, you're falling into our ADD trap. I'm sorry.
Like with Impact, they look at the people who have gone to Impact, become huge stars over there, and then have come back to WWE and done like really well, like Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley.
Right.
That's true. I agree.
Like,
no, it's
without
good
Impact. Without
it's
Impact,
a good platform for that.
Stars right now as big as they are.
No, I agree with that, and I agree with you that I think
it's who you could have said that about a decade ago too, Christian Cage.
Yeah. Kurt Angle 2.2. Even though Kurt Angle didn't need that, he was just looking for something different. I think Kurt Angle going to TNA was one of the great things that he did for his career because it actually.
I agree.
Because I was thinking about it, and I was
Sorry to
listening.
interrupt. Quick question, Rod. Is it on Plus or just Fight?
Fight.
All right.
Yeah, I'm on the fence about ordering it. Like my thing is,
I gotta order. I'm about to go on my what's the name and like I'll put it on like in a few minutes.
When they said $50, I'm like,
All right, Rod. If that's the case, Rod, message me.
I'm very cheap with what I invest in right now. Like I actually have like $50. They can like break me that bad.
They'll tell you I don't mind ordering the pay-per-views.
I'm going to Orlando on Friday, so for the weekend. So I'm trying.
Listen, you got to save. That's expensive. I'm going on the Jericho Cruise again. I'm trying to get two extra.
I could go on that. Actually, I probably can now.
Oh yeah, you're vaccinated. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if
I'll definitely get tickets for the next year's cruise, but this year I ain't.
This one they might be sold out again. Like it's one of those things where like if they with like the COVID really like fucked it up because like we were lucky because if you had already gone, you were pretty much guaranteed a room again. You were on the list. You were like guaranteed to get in again. So like it was very easy for us because we had already been like that's one of those things like if you haven't,
I couldn't imagine
that
how
wait
many
list
guys you'll
is
get this
insane.
year.
Yeah, like that wait list is insane. Like a lot of people don't want to go because they're still like nervous. But I do like what Norwegian Cruise Line is doing.
What you say to those people? Stay the fuck home.
Exactly. That's what we were saying. No, like we're at a point now where it's like, listen, the best we can do is all get vaccinated and comply with what the world needs. Does it suck that we have to wear a mask in public? Yes. Are those things uncomfortable? Have I fucked my ears up horribly with those things? Yes. But it's safer for everybody.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
It hurts if you wear it like overnight too.
Star Wars Day, I get my second vaccine. I get my second vaccine. So,
speaking of Jay, how you feeling, homie?
Hasn't hit me yet.
Yeah, it takes time, dude. That's why I said you were gonna be fine for this. Like, you know what it is? When you get them, you feel like the next day. When I got my first shot, I felt it like 2, 3 in the morning. I had like a crazy case of the chills.
Just curious, if everybody got this, at least that first one, what did everybody get? Just curious.
You guys know I got Moderna. That's what my job offered me, and like
that's what I got too.
So be prepared because they're saying that Moderna has worse reaction than Pfizer does. So Rod, God forbid you get like the fever and the chills and all that. Don't be alarmed. Your body's doing what it needs to be doing.
I've had worse. So after like a shot or something, so I've had worse.
Yeah, a lot of my friends who got Moderna, like a lot of my friends, like Derek, had the same reactions I did. He was like, a lot of my friends who got it had the same reaction I did. They were like, I felt like I got hit by a sledgehammer.
I'll plead the fifth on the vaccine.
You're entitled to your opinion. I'm not preaching or anything. I'm a proponent of it because I work in healthcare, so I felt like it was my diligence with my personal.
Yeah, I got mine through the VA, so.
Yeah, like I felt like it was my due diligence with family members with immunocompromised issues, a girlfriend with some immunodeficiency issues, and just working around sick patients every day. I work in healthcare. I'm around.
No, one thing too, like for this Jericho cruise, I can only imagine what guys you're going to get this time. Because if you think what the whole Forbidden Door opening and everything, who knows who might be on this cruise this year.
True. But also too, but you got to remember too, the other kicker is there are people who are still very anti-vaccine that are not ready to get that vaccine. So you're going to see a lot of the talent change because Norwegian Cruise Line is requiring all staff and anybody on that cruise
I
to be
respect
vaccinated.
that. I
And they're
respect
also,
that.
what I heard was they're going to do rapid tests right as you board the cruise. They're
I
going to do
respect
rapid
that
tests.
personally.
They're going to do rapid
Imagine
tests.
that, like you think you're good, and then you do a rapid test and you have it, and you can't get on. Like,
That would suck.
That
But,
would suck,
yeah.
but you have to. But again,
But I understand though. That I understand.
I get it, but again, that's what you have to do. I'm sure so many people on the cruise the last time had the virus, had no idea what it was, because people got really sick on that cruise.
Yeah.
I actually went on that cruise with a sinus infection, so I was already kind of sick. I don't think it was the virus because I just don't, based on what I'm hearing now. I mean, it's possible I had a weird cough going on, but I always get weird funny coughs with a sinus infection. And I've heard people who've gotten COVID who feel like they had a sinus infection.
Question: was the female AC/DC band on that cruise?
No,
They weren't,
not last year. No, they weren't.
because I know the lead singer got COVID, and I think it was around that time. Or actually, no, she said she was in Vegas. I think when it
It was
happened.
probably Vegas. No, it wasn't. No, the cool groups for me on the cruise were obviously Fozzy played. I honestly, my favorite Fozzy set was when they did all the cheesy cover sets. Like they did like a cheesy like 80s cover night. Like they did all these crazy covers. Like that was my favorite night of the Fozzy sets. Howard Jones's new band played. Blood Has Been Shed. They were not Blood Has Been Shed. What's the other band?
He has a newer
Light the
band
Torch.
now.
Light the Torch. Yeah, Light the Torch. Light the Torch.
But he has a newer band now.
Yeah, Light the Torch. That's what I meant.
No, he has an even newer band.
Oh yeah, the one with
Remember?
Jared
You
Dines.
told me
Yeah, yeah.
before.
Oh yeah, with Jared Dines.
Yeah,
that's right.
that's what he's focusing on right now too.
Yeah, he was doing Light the Torch. So that was my first time I got to see Howard Jones live, which was kind of cool.
I saw him
the
with
80s
Kill
cover
Switch.
band Rubik's Cube was kind of cool. There's a band called Rubik's Cube. They were like strictly 80s covers. But like it was like my style of cover band. It was like completely shtick 80s. Because as Rod and Jay know, Steven, we've had this conversation quickly, like in groups, but I love like a good shtick cover band. Like I love a good shtick in wrestling. When a cover band does like a shtick, I love it.
yeah.
Or like they were like full shtick, like 80s. They had the whole.
Oh yeah, we my buddy's in a band, like a local band that's pretty big around here, and
yeah.
theirs is all like 90s themed. Like they come out like
That's
everything's,
fantastic.
like,
That's what my one cover band was trying to do, and we were doing it good for a while, and then
You
things kind of
talking about
died down.
Midnight Society?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Midnight
the thing is,
Society.
they like they'll cover like the 90s pop songs too. Like it's great. Like
That's awesome. Yeah, Midnight
Hey,
does
if
like
you
a
see
little bit of
me with a
everything with
remote in
that.
my hand, I'm trying to
I'll
get set
send you
up
their
for the
stuff. I
pay-per-view.
don't know if they have everything up, but
If there's stuff up, I'm always down to hear it. I appreciate the 90s shit, because like my one band, the Midnight Society, it's like 90s and 2000s, so there's like pieces of both. That's half of why my hair is actually bleached right now,
Oh, wow.
and why I have like
No, it's because he thinks he's Yoshihashi, but that's besides the point.
Oh, that's the other.
that's the
All
J,
right.
that's the RJ Show reasoning.
Oh my god. All right, fellas. Rebellion is like in 20 minutes. You want to do predictions or?
Yeah, we can run down the card quick. I mean, I'm down.
Hold on, I guess I'm trying to get it, so give me a second.
I may or may not order it. I'm like on the fence right now. I might watch it later. I don't know.
If you don't, like, if you watch Wesley later, just like hit me up. And
Yeah, I'll let you
give
know.
Fight. Yeah, I'll give you my fight details. So,
Yeah, I'll let you know.
and-
If I
Like I
order it,
said,
if I go that route,
yeah.
I'll pay for it. The money isn't the problem, really. It isn't. Like, I'm not struggling with the money. It's not being cheap. Because I have so much stuff I'm investing in right now. I'm just like, do I really want to spend on this? But I do want to see a few matches on there. I do really want to see the Swan Omega match.
I mean,
'cause-
I really shouldn't, but I kind of really want to, so I'm just doing it.
Jay, you
it's
got to live a
cheaper
little bit, bro.
than-
I know money's tight for people all the time.
I'm happy because I get Wesley in 6 days, so I'm
you know
good.
what? I can run down the card and you guys can just throw names.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
I'll do the honors.
Wait,
I'll run down
before
the
we
card.
do that,
Oh, we got the. Oh, we should do. If we moving forward, we should have a new rule. If there's a
What?
pay-per-view coming up and we have a guest on, the guest has to do the honors. You've christened a new idea.
I like that.
Jay, you
Yeah,
have to
that
run down the
works.
card for
the
us, and we
Steve
got
Fillmore
points.
rule.
But
I like
before he
it.
does,
The Steven
but
Fillmore
before he
rule.
does,
Oh, I'm calling the
before
Stevie
he
Fillmore
does.
rule. I like that. The
All right,
Stevie
you guys
Wrestling
ready?
call.
hold on. Wait, let me just say this. Before he does, is there anything else that we missed that when we were talking about you in the whole wrestling thing? Like, Are you? I mean, I think we kind of covered this. Are you going? You're planning on getting back involved in this?
Yes. I don't know how far into it I want to get though. I don't
Okay.
want to.
That's cool. Look,
I don't
That's
know.
I'm
fine.
gonna be the fantasy fan here now. I'm curious. I want to see where your head's at. So now, let's say you get back into wrestling and you have your aspirations. Who are the dream matches?
That I would want to have with.
Yeah, the dream matches as a wrestler for you. You,
Obviously.
Stevie Wrestling, the wrestler.
Hey, you can have a wrestler from any company.
It could be
Okay.
any. Yeah, exactly. Just 3 wrestlers fantasy booking for yourself.
Only 3.
I mean, not only 3. I'm just saying 3 big ones.
Yeah,
that,
top
would
3,
really
yeah.
stand out. It could be anything.
Obviously, Rey Mysterio would be my
Of course, your idol.
right. I would say Lindsay Dorado just because it would just be fun to. I think that would just be a fun match. Just
Yeah.
usually with wrestlers when they're friends, they have the best matches. We've seen that a lot of times.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
you've never locked up with him before, right?
No.
Okay.
So
I'm sure Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are at the bar drinking their nights away when they have their matches, laughing at all of us, cashing their bank, drinking beers over it.
And if I had to pick another one, I don't know. I'm stuck between Johnny Gargano or Randy Orton. I know they're 2 different sides of the spectrum there, but I feel like Randy Orton, me and him, as far as being similar height, I don't know,
You're probably comparable weighted too at this point.
yeah, I feel like that could be a good match. He's obviously more built than I am, but
But that's toning and conditioning. You know that, homie.
right. I mean, by that point, if I were to get to that point, I'd be bigger, but for my size.
Sure.
But with Johnny Gargano, oh my God, he can just have an amazing match with anybody. So
Some guys
Gargano's
can.
amazing, man.
And some guys
He's
can.
hilarious too.
it's so. I mean, those two guys. I mean, I'd throw Ricochet in there just because I've been a big fan of his work.
I love Ricochet. I used to think that Ricochet's worst run was his Prince Puma run in Lucha Underground, and I loved that because he was my favorite guy in Lucha Underground. But I can now successfully say that his WWE run is the worst thing it's run through WWE run.
He still has not recovered from Super Showdown last year.
He's not gonna recover from it. As long as certain people are writing and booking, he's not going to.
So ADD aside, let's run down the card.
All right.
Good man. No, I like that. That's good. I like you. Keeping us in line.
Go.
All right,
Someone's got to do it.
All right, we're gonna start off with the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship match. Fire and Flava, Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz versus Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering.
I want to give it to Ellering and Grace.
I don't know. Fire Flava been on the roll though.
They're still heels, right?
Let me just state for those who don't know, Fire and Flava are the champions right now. So just putting that.
All right, for the people at home who might not. Okay, good job.
Like me, who doesn't follow TNA because TNA's crap.
Oh my God, pipe down. But no, I was actually surprised it was Rachel Ellering because I legitimately thought it was going to be Taylor Wilde, her partner. So Ellering was a surprise, but I liked it though.
I think I'm going to go with Fire and Flava only because I think that Jordan Grace is kind of towards the end of her Impact run.
I've been hearing that. I hope though, because I didn't even know.
Where do you think she would go if she was to leave Impact? You think AEW would take her, or do you think she's going NXT?
Or maybe Ring of Honor to be with John DeGresham, especially now that Woman of Honor is coming back in the summer.
Oh, true. Yeah, I didn't think of that. And what would you say, Steve?
I kind of would like to see her in NXT, honestly.
I would too, actually. I feel like she would do it. She's got I gotta give her credit. She's got a amazing physique and regimen for her size, and she could do some cool stuff for her size.
There's definitely some matches I'd like to see her do, but I mean, so we got.
I Fire Flava, they've been on the roll, and as much as I like Jordan Grace and the shock factor of Rachel Ellering, I don't think Rachel Ellering is becoming the champion tonight. I gotta go with Fire Flava.
Okay.
I haven't seen enough Rachel Ellering to know, except for the few things I've seen her do, which she was okay. I don't really know enough.
Alrighty.
Oh.
Personally.
So we'll go with the 8-man tag match next. So Chris Sabin, Eddie Edwards, James Storm, and Willie Mack versus Violent by Design.
With as good as Violent by Design has been, this is gonna be the toughest challenge, and I think this is gonna be the challenge that finally beats them. I'm going with Team Edwards.
Okay.
That's Eric Young's faction, right?
Yeah.
I know a little bit about Impact. I keep tabs enough to kind of know who everybody is, but like I forget like faction names. But yeah, I can probably agree with that. I feel
I
like
don't know, man. DVD's been doing well.
Eric Young is like a TNA tailored wrestler. Impact, I'm sorry. I'm not an Impact guy.
Yeah, you started with it, so
I feel
you're right.
like Eric Young, like that's what he's tailored for. Like there are wrestlers that are branded for certain companies. I feel like Eric Young is.
Yeah, but I feel like this
tailored
might
for
gonna be
Impact.
his last match because with his injury, this might gonna be his last match for a while.
Who,
So
Eric
I think
Young?
I think he gutted it out for the pay-per-view, but after that, yeah, he probably won't be in the match much for obvious reasons.
We'll see what happens.
All right, so we kind of like for the most part.
Yeah, Team
Yeah,
Edwards.
Yeah.
Last man standing match: Trey Miguel versus Sami Callihan.
You know what? The way they've been building this, I'm calling the upset now. Trey Miguel beat Sami Callihan tonight. I'm calling now the upset.
I'm thinking Sammy. I don't know. Like
Callahan. Yeah, good Callahan. I still like Callahan. I know there's like shit with him too, but I think Callahan's good. I think he's one of the better guys in that company.
I think you know, like Trey's finally going to get his moment, like the moment that everybody's been waiting for him to get, since he broke away from the Rascals. I think tonight is the night he finally gets his moment. This is my
or he's gonna get buried
right
as MSK's laughing at him with their NXT tag titles because they went to the better promotion.
Oh my god, pipe down over there. Such a hater, I swear sometimes.
Let's
Not a hater.
do the match of the night.
Okay.
Zack Ryder versus Curt Hawkins.
Hey, listen, I'm like the biggest Hawkins and Ryder mark there is.
I like them too. I'm just saying, I just wanted to say Hawkins versus Ryder. It's all I wanted.
I know. I agree with you.
No, but I don't know. I might go with Cardona though.
I have a feeling Cardona is going to win it just because, like. But no, I'm excited for that match. It's the Long Island pride in me, and like my one buddy's actually like personal friends with both of them, so like there's that little bit of that mark out for me. I'm actually they're like the reason I want to watch Impact because I love them to be like it was something there I think.
You know what's weird is that not to go too ADD, but
no, we encourage ADD. It's all good.
Zack Ryder has had really good WrestleMania like moments. Like
he's had some great ones.
Like for someone who like they don't know how to book the rest of the year. He's had good WrestleMania moments.
Yes, he has.
He had
he's won some good belts.
In freaking IC title ladder match.
And then he won the tag titles with Curt Hawkins.
And right,
that was a great one for Hawkins.
That ended the streak.
That streak was amazing, but again, Curt Hawkins is one of those guys you can tell is smart to the business. He realizes let that streak go forever. That's memorable, like because that's a smart thing. And like he didn't want to win after a while. It was like you knew that had to be that was going to happen with that finish though with him winning the belts because you knew it had to be a big payoff because you don't have somebody lose for 300 matches for it to just flop. There's got to be something at the end for that.
Guys, I got to tell you something for that match that's happening now. Matt Cardona's going to get a roster cut.
Wait, it's happening now?
No, we're talking about it. We're talking about it.
So you're going with Myers.
Matt Cardona is going to get a roster cut.
No, I think it's going to be some radio silence tonight.
I think Zack Ryder, a.k.a. Matt Cardona, is the polar opposite of me. He's always ready. I am never ready, so I'm going Cardona.
Like right now, I'm Mr. Not ready.
I'm never ready.
Three-way match for the Impact X Division Championship: Ace Austin versus Josh Alexander versus TJP.
I
kind of want TJP to win. I don't know. Don't attack me, but I kind of want TJP to win.
I want
Ace. Fantastic right now.
Right. I know some people are like mixed feelings about him since WWE, but I like TJP.
TJP was good. I was disappointed when they released him actually because I like him. He's been good in New Japan Strong. I've been hearing he's good on Impact. He's been doing cool stuff.
I think more the fans in WWE who didn't know how to respond to him more than WWE. Actually, the fans were really harsh for like.
I'm not going to lie. After seeing the way the matches he's had since the breakup of the North, I would not be surprised to see Josh Alexander walk out champion tonight. We're not surprised.
I feel like I like Josh Alexander a lot, but I feel like he's like
eating yogurt.
So mad without Ethan Page. I feel
It's
like
different without Ethan Page, but Ethan Page is now in a new tag team with Scorpio Sky,
which is a great tag team. I'm loving that tag team right now.
All
I
right.
love Ethan Page.
So my picks for Josh.
I'm gonna go with TJP, I guess.
Ace Austin to retain.
All
Oh,
right.
he's still a
So
champ?
next we have
I forgot he was a champ.
the Impact Knockouts Championship. Deanna Purrazzo versus Emma / Tennille Dashwood.
I'm
Deanna's
usually
I think Deanna.
I'm in
I want
Deanna's corner,
I want
but I
Tennille
say
to get her
Tennille.
I want Tennille to win, but I also don't want Deanna to lose.
So
I think Deanna's
I feel
if that makes sense.
with no Susan in her corner, and the way Kayla with a K consistently interferes in Tennille's matches, I feel Tennille's finally going to win her first major championship. I feel somebody's going to have a new knockout champion.
That's kind of why I
What's
want her to
her
win.
name?
Is I want her to have that.
Because it's astonishing how this woman has been in so many great promotions, never held a major championship.
She's not that good.
That's a lie.
Well,
Emma,
yes, she is.
The best gimmick she ever had was this. But she had that stupid dance.
no.
She freaking made Paige like $1 million in that NXT freaking Women's Championship final match.
Question. Oh, never mind. I got the answer. So where's Kimberly been?
Jazz took her out.
Oh, all right.
All
So
right, so I'll go with Tennille on this one, even though Deanna's probably going to win, but I'm hoping for Tennille.
You're a
So
Tennille
I'm
guy.
with you on that.
Yeah, I'm going with Tennille.
I'm going with Purrazzo just to be different.
All right, so the Impact World Tag Team Championships, we got Finn Juice versus the Good Brothers. I think the Good Brothers are over.
He's gonna get it again.
I think Finn Juice is retaining. To be
yeah,
honest, because
I
no
mean-
one expecting them to be champions to begin with. I think they're retaining.
I said
Unless they're doing a lot of work with Impact, I don't see it because they're so back and forth between Japan. Unless they're not going to be utilized in
But the
Japan for a while.
the fact that they are currently on this what's they told shows me that I think they will be sticking around for a little bit, and I think they're going to retain.
And I kind of feel yeah, I mean,
Maybe. But I
Yeah,
feel
but-
like I have a feeling though that with this whole AEW Impact thing, you're going to see the whole dominant champions thing.
yeah, I'm gonna go. With
I can
Good
see
I
that.
want to see
I'll go
the
with
Good
Good
Brothers retain, especially because of the whole elite thing going on.
Well, that's what
Whatever.
I'm saying, and it's good because the Bucks are still the champs, and Omega's the champ, and he's going to be the probably the Impact champ.
they have to get it.
Oh, wait, I already blew my load on
I'll
that
get to my
prediction.
prediction about that in a few minutes, but
I blew my load on that prediction. Whoops. Not that anybody's shocked by it.
oh my God.
Not that anybody's shocked by it.
What's next?
That's probably is next, isn't it?
The main event, winner
Yep.
take all match for the Impact World Championship and the AEW
Bang.
World Championship.
I'm feeling the upset. I feel Swan's winning tonight.
Nope.
So,
No,
Omega's-
definitely not.
spoiler alert: Omega's gonna win.
I agree.
No,
But-
I'll be
I
if
love
I have to be
Omega.
that
I'm
guy.
an Omega guy. I can't not.
Rich Swan. I think Rich Swan's going to
And that's the thing. I'm not a huge Omega guy at all, but I
I
know
love
Omega's
Omega.
gonna win. And
As we're in that wrestling all stars group, and we're all like Omega guys, even though they're all kind of getting away from the AEW thing. They're all like Omega guys.
I
So many
definitely am
Bullet
an
Club guys
Omega.
in that group.
I would love Swan to have the upset. That would be amazing. That would do amazing things for his career, I think.
It would
but-
do amazing things for wrestling, in my opinion. Do you really need Kenny Omega with 20 belts? No.
Yes, you do,
why
Rob.
not?
I know you
Yes,
don't.
you do.
No,
Yes,
you
you
Why
really, no,
not?
you really don't.
I also then want him to go down to Ring of Honor and take the belt from Roosh. And then I want him-
Okay.
And then I want him to go, to NXT and take the belt from
Because
Cross.
that's really going to happen.
And then I want to see
I
him
want
take.
him to go and face Will Ospreay. That would be sweet.
Yeah, have him run the New Japan title. I'm pissed that they had Ospreay win it because I wanted Ibushi and Omega for the IWGP.
Why
title.
not, though?
Man, you think you pissed? You should talk to Amanda about that.
Maybe
Oh, I
it'll
know,
be
Amanda's been blowing a
Okada
gasket over
and,
that 'cause she hates Ospreay.
Omega.
She still
You never
is.
know.
We got through the predictions painfully, but we got through them.
I told you we're a bunch of ADD guys. I'm glad you're channeling your honorary ADD tonight. I appreciate that. I appreciate.
I got.
With 4
I
minutes
mean-
to go, is there anything we could close
Yeah,
on?
you
or-
guys got anything
Well,
else?
you guys do. Yeah, I mean, close with what you want to close with. I
I
got
was
to
gonna
do
say we're about to
something.
wind down.
Alright.
It's about wrestling time.
AEW time.
Enjoy
but-
Rebellion tonight. a historic main event. Enjoy it. But we all gave our predictions. Most went with Omega. I'm going with Swan. So we'll see what happens. But enjoy the show, everyone.
I'll be happy if Swan wins, but I'm expecting Omega to win.
I want and expect Omega to win. Rich Swan is.
I want Omega to
kidding.
win because Omega should win.
Again,
Swan,
chill, bro.
Swan.
I'm trying to be the fan favorite here. Trying to get the cheap pop. Because I never get the cheap pop. I get the heat for Rod's blasphemy.
Degenerate.
So how do we follow you on your adventures, Steve?
If I put anything, it'll be on my Instagram most likely. And that's at Stevie Capone, STEVIECAPONE. We'll probably put that in the description.
I'll put that in there too.
That's the same thing as my Twitter. So,
and that's also your YouTube channel, right?
Same thing for YouTube too. So.
Yeah, I'll put all that. I'll link all that. So for anybody watching and observing, all the links are going to be on the thing. All the links.
All right. With that being said, I guess
that's it. So anything you guys want to add before we anything else to be touched on?
I
got something, but I'll save it for the next show.
Everybody enjoy Rebellion. We are in for a historic night tonight. So
enjoy the night, everybody.
I'm excited.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Steven, it was a pleasure.
We're bad at goodbyes too.
All right, we'll just end it with this. How about that?
We'll do that.
So guys,
thank you again to our guest, Steven Fillmore, Stevie Wrestling. Two sweet guys. Have a great night. Enjoy the pay-per-view if you watch it. And keep watching our things. Too sweet.